Israel is preparing for a major ground offensive into the territory while maintaining a heavy bombing campaign of targets in the hunt for members of Hamas. The group is designated as a terror organisation by many Western governments, including the UK. Within the hour, we've had news of an Israeli airstrike on the Rafah crossing on the border with Egypt. Our correspondent there tells us a building on the Palestinian side of the crossing has been damaged, and there is also damage to the vital road between Gaza and Egypt. The United Nations says Israel's total siege of Gaza, cutting off fuel, food and electricity supplies, is causing a deepening humanitarian crisis, with hospitals close to complete collapse. It threatens thousands of lives. Meanwhile, thousands of Palestinians who've left their homes hoping to cross into Egypt have been left disappointed with the crossing remaining closed. Jeremy Bowen is in southern Israel.
Another war of words has started over who's responsible for the suffering of Palestinian civilians in Gaza. Israel is dropping the bombs. It says blame Hamas for killing and kidnapping and, says Israel, hiding behind civilians. Gazans crowded into UN schools after Israel told them to move south towards the Egyptian border. They're supposed to be protected by the laws of war. America has felt it necessary to deliver repeated reminders of that to Israel, along with military aid. This grandmother blames Israel, then speaks of tragedy, hunger, death, fear, horror, and destruction. In Rafah, at the closed border with Egypt, Palestinians with foreign passports are hoping to get out, to escape the pressure Israel has imposed on civilians, despite its legal obligations.
You cannot ask people to move out of harm's way without assisting them to do it, to go to places of their choice, where they want to be safe, and with the humanitarian aid that they need to make that journey safely. And right now, the movement that has happened has not had those provisions.
Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State, returned to Israel after a rapid tour of America's Arab allies. The US is giving Israel all the military aid it wants, but it's trying to stop the war spreading. In Jerusalem, in the parliament, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, delivered another warning. He told Iran and its Lebanese ally Hezbollah not to test Israel. Ehud Olmert, prime minister when Israel last fought Hezbollah in 2006, was scathing about Mr. Netanyahu for mishandling relations with the Palestinians, for weakening the rivals of Hamas, and said Israel should have two objectives.
One is to fight Hamas. The other is to recognize the Palestinian Authority and try and uplift the Palestinian Authority and start negotiate with them and say there is an horizon of peace after war.
In Israel, there's unity about fighting Hamas. The argument is about why Hamas could break through Israel's defenses and how to deliver Israelis and Palestinians from another generation of bloodshed. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, Southern Israel.
Well, as we've been explaining, there was an airstrike tonight near the Rafah crossing. That's where thousands of people are currently waiting, trying to escape from Gaza into Egypt. Well, our correspondent is Rushdie Abu Alouf. He's in the city of Khan Yunis in the southern area of the Gaza Strip. He gave us this update on the damage that was caused by the strike.
Yeah, I have seen fresh footage, CCTV camera from inside the Palestinian terminal of Rafah crossing. There is some damage to the external hall of the crossing, but also there is damage to the road that leads from the Palestinian side to the Egyptian side. The damage isn't great and can be fixable easily if the Egyptian decided to reopen the crossing and allow those with dual nationality to cross into Egypt. When we talk about bringing in aid, we are talking about the commercial side of the crossing, which is close to the to the terminal, and it's not damaged. I mean, now the point is stuck into is there is a deal or no deal. For now, no deal. There is some talks, diplomacy, big diplomacy everywhere in Doha, in Egypt, the Americans in Israel, but so far as I remember today, I have been talking to many parties, and all of them said that negotiation is moving very slowly, but there is no progress to reopen the Rafah crossing, which I think for the Americans, they want their citizen out, but for the 2.4 million people, they want something more important, which is food, medicine, fuel, because as I'm standing in this hospital, Khan Yunis Hospital, this is the main hospital now that is providing services for 1.2 million people, the only hospital. They said they will run out, the hospital will be out of service by tomorrow midnight because they don't have fuel and they don't have medicine and they don't have any facility to run the hospital.